sulcatas need heat, especially in the winter. They need to be above 65, 70 degrees at night, ideally a little bit warmer than that. So people have been asking us what we do in the winter for our guys, and while we've built some custom-made dog houses, tortoise houses, now that we've got a couple more rescues, we've got to build something else. So we ordered one of these off of Chewy to see how this works. It's insulated, or at least it says it is, so we're going to check this out. And it's one of those where it's insulated, but it's not, it doesn't have like a padding in it. A lot of the ones that I was looking at had a padding, and this one does not. It's insulated through the walls. So we're going to check this out and build it and see what it looks like, and see if it'll be the right size for either these two sweethearts, or hopefully, we'll see how big it actually is, because it is the large one. We're going to see if it's big enough for Cooper for the winter. We prefer to do these dog houses for these guys, so it helps them with their desire to dig. They're way less likely to dig a deep burrow if they have a safe and warm place to sleep in. So knock on wood, none of these guys have dug a burrow, thank goodness. There's Creed. Hey buddy, I'm gonna let you out in just a second so you can free range while we're filming. And there's Thor. And these guys have ramps back here, right here. They each have a ramp. Thor's is back here that goes into the shed, and on the other side of the shed we have custom made dog houses for these guys. I guess they're not called dog houses, Katie, they're tortoise houses, but here we are. All right, I'm gonna go change the battery on the GoPro and set it up so you guys can watch me build this thing. We'll see how it goes. What's up, buddy? Y'all, Pan is just the funniest little creature. He is so inquisitive and curious. He was found wandering the mean streets of Kannapolis. Actually, he was found in someone's backyard, and somebody else kept him for a short period of time and said, hey, he really needs to go to a place that can really provide for him. So here he is. And I promise you, I clean out their water all the time. I just cleaned this out yesterday. It does need to be cleaned again, but these guys get in there. They love to soak. They love to go to the bathroom in there. And Pan can't stay out of the water, so there he goes. All right, let's get to building.
For anyone who says tortoises don't move a lot or are very slow, I think you'll enjoy watching this video and checking out all of the different tortoises in the enclosures moving about. Creed was with me. I put him out there where we have a whole bunch of grass here where I'm working to let him wander around. They beat up their pens pretty significantly and pretty quickly because they are so rough on the ground and they're grazers. So I like to get them out as much as possible and let them wander around in the grass and munch around like crazy. I really enjoy how inquisitive these guys are. They're very interested in what humans are doing, and in most of the time when we are in any of their enclosures, they're wandering about and following us around, interested, and not necessarily looking for food, but just, hey, what are you doing? You'll see Creed going back and forth here in the back of the enclosed area, well, the front of the enclosure for Pan and Artemis. He's very interested in other tortoises, but he's not very nice to them, so he lives by himself. I think he prefers it that way, but he certainly is interested in where they are and what they're doing. The big guy in the back, of course, is Thor, that you can see going back and forth in his enclosure. And then over on the right is Cooper. You can't see him right now, but if you keep watching, you see him wander around from time to time. This build was pretty easy. It did say that it takes 2 people. As you can see, I did this all by myself, well, with the help of Creed wandering about, of course. I just had to set it up differently when I was screwing different parts of it in, But otherwise, yep, pretty simple to do by yourself, and it came with all of the screws. It actually even came with one extra of every kind, just in case, which I thought was pretty nice, and most of the spots were pre-drilled as well. Mom had messaged and said she wanted to come over and feed the tortoises some cactus pads that she has in her yard, so she cut some and brought them over on the four-wheeler for them. Tortoises really enjoy cactuses, and you can see, well, she waits for Creed to come back instead of going after him. She said, I'll just hang out here and wait till he comes and wanders back over, which of course he does here in a second. So we fed all of the tortoises some cactus pads. They really enjoy it. It's a great source of hydration. You just have to be careful that there's not a ton of spines on the cactus pads, although it seems to not bother them. We did try to feed some to Cooper here later, and Cooper was not having it. He sniffed it a bunch of times, he nudged it with his nose, and then he just kept walking. So even after we broke it in half to see if that would entice him a little bit more, he went back to munching his grass. Here's Mom attempting to give Cooper some, and like I said, he was not having any of it. And I tried. He still wasn't having any of it. So we left it in his enclosure. We'll see if he eats it or not. But for those of you who know, Cooper had a bladder stone. He did have a procedure about a week or so ago to have it completely removed. The veterinarian and her team did a fantastic job. Shout out to Dr. Powers and her team over at Carolina Veterinary Specialists here in Huntersville. And Cooper's been doing great. He's eating well, pooping a ton now, which is fantastic, and just really enjoying feeling better. You'll see Chance in and out of these shots here in just a bit. Muggs was with John over at John's parents' house this morning while I was doing this, so unfortunately there's no Muggs appearance in this video, and I didn't have to yell at him for trying to steal or eat any tortoise poop today, so that was a plus. Anyway, while Muggs was away, I gave Chance a few chew treats to chew on, and I went inside, got two, and left one on the table where I'm recording. I gave Chance one, and then you will shortly see him come and lay right in front of the camera and continuously here he comes. He just keeps sniffing and staring at the camera and the table, and I had no idea he was doing any of this. So when I noticed that he was doing it, eventually I did come over and hand him his rawhide treat, and off he went. But loved watching back this video and seeing him.
So my initial review is we'll see. Here's what we did. So a couple concerns. Well, the build was pretty easy. Instructions were simple. It came with everything you needed. Having the power screwdriver, of course, made everything so much easier. A couple things didn't quite line up, which was okay. I just had to force a few things and that worked okay. So, few things that I'm going to do to make this even better. This floor would be just fine if you had a dog in here that was not going to the bathroom. And you all know tortoises will be going to the bathroom in here. So, I'm going to add a heavy-duty stall mat in here. That way I can also take it out, clean it out, but it would keep the floor from rotting, which it would do if we didn't put something down. A couple additions that I did. I added a Govee Wi-Fi temperature gauge and humidity gauge. It connects right to my cell phone and it alerts me if it gets below a certain temperature, which I really appreciate. And then over here, for now at least, I have a chicken panel, chicken heater Let's show you which one that one is. There's Chance waiting for another treat. So this is the one we purchased. It's the Cozy Coop. Come on. Low wattage, safe, efficient, effective. We'll see how this goes. I have not used it before, so we will see. I may swap that out with something different, but I'll give it a try. Really like the roof on this. The roof seems to be very heavy duty, and it is at an angle, so that'll be great. And these hinges are fantastic, holds it up just fine. Let me shut this so you guys can see another concern I have. And maybe I just built it wrong, but I don't know if you guys can see this gap here. That's not gonna work for us. We're going to need to keep this nice and heated. So I'm either gonna have to throw a tarp over all of this, which I would rather not do, or I'm going to get some insulation and fill that in. This came pretty nice. It has a, I don't know what you call these things, a little barrier for the door, and it's already all in strips, so that'll be nice. And then I did like the additional feature of this little window. Right now I just have the cord hanging out of it. We'll have to fix that up. But this window does come with a little prop to prop it open. So this would probably be wonderful in the summer. Keep that open. You can also prop up the roof as long as it's not raining, and the Torts will really enjoy it. Another thing I don't love about this, so this is their large one, and you can see the door's wide but not super wide. Creed over here is 13, 14 years old. He will fit in there for now, but he wouldn't fit for long. I'm going to use that doghouse for the little ones. It'll be perfect size for the both of them. This guy's trying to figure out how he can get to them. That's why he lives separately. And I was hopeful, Cooper's hiding again, but he's hanging out in the shade. I was hopeful that it would fit Cooper. I think it would fit Cooper right now. He could go in and out at the size that he is, but the minute he gets a little bit bigger, this will be a struggle. So, great for smaller tortoises, not great for these larger guys. We will need to come up with another option for the big guys. But I was hopeful we could find something that didn't have to be a custom build. We don't mind doing custom builds at all. But since we've had lots of people asking, I'm trying to figure out what some easy options are that are kits that are pretty simple. So if you know of something, let me know. I'd love to try it out. We are not sponsored by anybody, but we said, hey, let's get this one and see how it does. Thanks for following along.